The following content is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marina Sprocki. And I want to first ask you a question. Are you the driver in the seat of your life? Or are you the passenger looking around or being taken for a ride? And just think about that for a second. I have a master's in professional counseling, and I am the IPPY award-winning author of Stop Looking for a Husband, Find the Love of Your Life, and Nasty Divorce, A Kid's Eye View. I write positive divorce advice for the HuffPost, and I'm trained in clinical hypnosis. And this podcast speaks to out-of-the-box thinkers, and it's for those who hear the call of hope and always another way. And if you're very rigid and set in your beliefs, this is probably not your cup of tea. However, you should note, taste can and do change. And I just want to thank everybody again for listening to this show, sharing it with your friends. We are growing and growing. Today is episode number 83. And so if you look back, I have 82 other amazing shows of absolutely game-changing guests with life-changing information. And today is no different. So back to that passenger or a driver in the seat of your life. I know for me, and I guess everybody, life does not come with an instruction book, or at least I didn't get the one that they're sending out. And, sometimes I'm on my game and consciously thinking about things, and other times the day just gets me and I'm for sure the passenger being taken for a ride. Well, lately, and maybe it was 2017, I got a little health scare that really made me decide, am I going to be the driver or am I going to be a passenger? And that is our choice with our health. Because it's your body and you get to decide, and you alone, what to do with it. And we are only, we only know what we know, which is information we get from our parents, from our friends, from news, from media, from outside sources. So you also don't know what you don't know. And I am here to tell you about some things that you don't know about that could absolutely be life-changing, and for you to know that there is always more than one way to do things. And flu season is here, and there is just more than one way to prevent getting the flu or to help yourself if you do have the flu. We live in a Band-Aid society, which is just, that's how our healthcare system is. We're not preventative, we're go to the doctor to get something fixed. When in reality, and you probably know this if you've maintained anything in your life, vehicles, homes, anything, you do the maintenance up front, and there's less wear and tear on the back end, and then you're not playing catch up that if you have a life of bad choices, it's going to be really bad. So anyways, there's many things you can do for complete wellness, and my guest today is one of those forward-thinking game changers. And she discovered this type of wellness through many failed attempts at some of our industry standard options. So we're going to talk about all the different things that you can do for health, wellness, and beauty. And as we begin, beauty comes from the soul. And the beautiful Jennifer Dillon, who is my guest, is a licensed personal fitness administrator, an integrated nutrition specialist, and the founder of Ozone Clinics. She received her training from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, where she studied a variety of dietary theories and practical lifestyle coaching methods. After 5 years of offering nutritional counseling, she added Ozone Therapy to her practice. It's a non-invasive sauna treatment to help clients detox and build the immune system. She obtained her ozone certification in 2017 with Frank Schellenberger. He's an MD and has been administering this treatment for 2 years. Her passion for this modality comes from the healing of her 10-year-old son and herself, and once her son started kindergarten, it became apparent that he had a very low immune system. He was always bringing home various viruses, and with the frequent illnesses came hallucinations and delusions that sent her and her husband searching for the internet trying to find answers. And that's got to be really scary, especially with a little kid. So for 2 years, they were sent to various doctors and treatments until eventually they were referred to a specialized neurologist. Wanting a second opinion, they stumbled upon a treatment called Ozone Therapy and began treating their son. To this day, he has been free of any neurological issues and has rebuilt his immune system. Seeing her son's recovery has inspired her to dedicate a life to helping others dealing with similar situations. And her motto is, "My passion is to create a place to educate on how simple it can be to heal the body. We're living in a world filled with toxins, and if we can be proactive, it will save us in the long run." Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And then I almost just forgot to say, another testament to ozone. So I first heard about you from a friend, Jenny, in December of last year, 2018. I was sick on Christmas Eve, could feel that cold coming in. Went to Ozone, of course, closed Christmas Day, go in the next day, never got sick. Since then, have brought 2 kids that had got the flu, were diagnosed. We came in that day, did ozone treatment. Next day, they were fine. Daughter with stomach bug came in, ozone treatment. Next day, fine. I
love that.
And I've been doing ozone regularly and taking care of all these kids and not sick.
Yes.
So,
It's happening. It happens every day at our clinic. So we hear it day in and day out, and it's nothing short of miraculous, kind of.
Yeah.
It's this treatment, obviously, but it's hard because no one's heard about this treatment. So when they come in and they try this treatment and it works so fast, they're just as surprised as I am when I first found it.
And what's so cool about ozone treatment is it's harmless.
Harmless, yeah.
It's actually relaxing. And comfortable. It's and I think it does 2 things too. Because you're relaxed, your body's being able to just relax to accept all that in there.
And to breathe and just slow down right for the day.
Yeah.
Right?
So
let's take
just
30 minutes for yourself and just sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk a tiny bit about ozone, and we'll go into all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So what are things that you've seen people use ozone for? I know, we know what you used it for, but just wonderful things that you've seen.
Yeah, well, so I didn't really use it for anything. I just went to kind of learn about it and just maybe see what it would happen with my son. I really had no idea what it was. But now that I know what it is, it's basically oxygen in the body, and it's an oxygen molecule plus an activated oxygen molecule. So it's an O3 atom basically that's going into your body. And what that does is it fuels really every cell in your body with clean oxygen, and the reactive oxygen molecule goes in and attaches to negative pathogens in your body. So this is a huge immune system builder, meaning it's flooding your body with clean oxygen, which we're all lacking in these days, correct?
For sure.
And then goes in and takes all the toxins out. And so we are living in a world that's extremely toxic, and I feel like we really can't afford them. So even though we can detox on a daily basis with other things like lemon water or Epsom salt baths or food or trying to eat clean and all this stuff, there's no way we can avoid toxins. So
right.
I love this because it is non-invasive. It's simple, easy. Obviously, you need to know kind of what you need to know what you're doing as far as the settings go, as far as the ozone. But overall, it's a safe treatment, and it's enjoyable, and it works every day. I've been doing this for almost 3 years, and there's very few people that have come in and out of my clinic that have not felt something.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun
to
be where I'm at, just to be able to have this place where this happens at.
Yeah, and it's just such a nice, just beautiful place. It's just a calm environment. Yeah. I love going there. And just all the sweet people that work there. It's so inviting. So that is in this world where we just have sometimes I don't watch the news anymore for specific reasons.
I don't either.
It's scamalicious out there.
It's tough.
I mean, really people from top down, really bad, really scammy, and even and I'm not saying let's be critical thinkers here. We're not eschewing science or stuff that's been proven, but there's other things too. But when you start to see scams going on, like for instance, the medical device industry, which I've talked about, which if you look at class 3 medical devices, you can't sue the manufacturer if they're faulty, and look at pre-market approval. Watch The Bleeding Edge on Netflix. And then you start thinking like, wow, these people do not have my back because they don't care, you know? And then that makes you wonder. And then also just same thing with like, you know, medications. We have stuff that have just been like lifetime proven for a long time. Things are getting fast tracked. And then companies can put whatever in the chemicals and everything.
Well, it seems like there's medicines that the news are saying they're taking off the market every day because it's doing this, that has this effect, cancer.
Exactly.
ADHD, and it's just like, that's pretty scary.
When they say that, like you can hear the warnings, like, you know, on the commercials, it's like may cause like cancer, suicide, death, and you're like.
And they play the pretty music, you know.
I was fine before I took that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but
It's
just
really sad.
to go to some place where you know, like, it's honest, and you can see it, and that's the thing with Ozone. You can see it and feel it right away.
Yes, you do. You don't. It doesn't take many sessions to
And
feel it.
so you don't have to hear it. It's proof is in the pudding.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like the things that I put together in my clinic are things that actually work. Like, they're not nothing that you're going to come into my clinic. You're going to have to come, you know, multiple times, and I'm going to take all your money, and you're not going to feel nothing. These are all things they all work. They've all been proven to myself time and time and time again. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing with the treatments that I use. They've helped me personally, helped my family, my friends. So it's pretty amazing.
So let's dive into one of those. Let's talk about the curve wave laser. Let's talk about what that does, what that can do, what you've seen it do for people that maybe just, you know, are just maybe facing surgery right now, and you could try something before that.
Absolutely. So CureWave laser is a class 4, 1280 nanometer laser. It's extremely powerful in the fact that it goes pretty deep into the body. So it goes 4 inches into the body. And the size of every 1 minute spot treatment is about the size of the palm of your hand, which I think you saw there. It's that red light. So with every spot treatment, 1 minute, it takes inflammation out of the body and it stimulates the blood cells on a cellular level to activate and rush all of your own body's healing mechanisms, which is what your oxygen, ADP, NAD, like your mitochondrial system, all of that, to rush to this injury for your own body to take over, heal it. When you're injured, it's inflamed, right? And that's kind of like your body's mechanism to almost protect it in some fashion. So it constricts the blood flow. So most of the time, the reason why injuries take so long to heal is because there's no blood flowing to it.
Yeah.
So this laser literally makes the blood flow right to it. And with that happening, we see injuries being healed in like half the time.
Yeah.
Which is incredible, right? Especially for athletes that are like have to run a marathon in like 2 weeks and they just like, you know, tore their hamstring or something.
And for life, like, you know, if you're like
life,
a mother, you're like, I can't put your leg up for 3 weeks.
Exactly, yes.
Would love to.
Yes. Or, you know, yes, all ages really. Like people, you know, have 70, you know, elderly people that want to enjoy their life and they're in so much pain that they can't go out and play golf or drive or this and that. And they come in, they get some treatments and it changes their whole life. So it's pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So
I'm super happy.
What can you use it for? Like what parts of the body?
So it's soft tissue. So it's really built for all major joints. And so any soft tissue. So ligaments, tendons, nerves, muscle, really anything that's not a bone in the body, this thing can hit and help. We've lasered sinuses for sinus infections.
And how does that work?
Mouth sores.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything that's going on in the body, if you can get your own body's blood to flow to it, which carries the nutrients that we need, right? That we heal our own body with.
Right.
And pills don't heal us.
Right.
I mean, turmeric might help with the inflammation, you know, that kind of thing. But when you take an ibuprofen or Advil or prescription drugs, it's masking the pain until your body takes over to heal it. So basically, I love this laser because you don't have to take those medicines or ibuprofen and all that, because this laser, you come in and you basically feel it that same day. So we've literally had people walk in the door that couldn't walk and got on the table and after their treatment got up and walked out of there like miraculously.
And that's
so
amazing.
they don't have to go home and or go take their pill that, the muscle relaxer or this or that their doctors are prescribing them. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And is there any downside to it?
There's no downside. You need a professional laser tech to
yeah, but I mean, it
this,
doesn't
but
it's not going to hurt you. So
it does not hurt you. And yeah, the one thing about the clinic that we have is nothing in there is going to hurt you. We're pretty holistic. I will not, put anything in there, whether it's a chemical, whether it's a product or anything that will hurt us at all. So,
which is so nice to know, because that's the thing about trying other options when you don't know is, and that's what I thought when I had high CRP rates. That's an indicator of a heart attack or stroke. You could go to a cardiologist. And I'm not saying don't ever go to somebody.
No, of course not.
But I also know I'm not going to spontaneously combust.
Yeah.
So I could try some stuff
Yeah.
that's different, and
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
I was struggling before I found all these things. I was struggling. And so I think you talked about my son a little bit, my husband as well. He almost died of adrenal failure, 12, 13 years ago. And that's kind of where my journey began. And the fact that Western medicine couldn't figure anything out that was wrong with him, but yet gave him every medicine there was known to man. And thank God my husband didn't take it, because they made him feel like crap. So he just, worse than he was. And it wasn't until holistic medicine came into our lives that he actually healed himself. So, but then, fast forward, 10 years later, me and my son, go through this horrific summer, and both of us get sick, basically. And so I guess another thing, where I want to go with this is stress.
Yeah.
So basically,
it's around.
It's everywhere, right? So
can't escape it.
Yeah, and I'm realizing again, just as of lately, that stress literally can kill you. And so you really
for reals.
So yeah, for reals. So I think for me, when I wasn't even worried about my son when he got sick, I was more worried about him. As you know, as a mom, it's always about the son.
Of course, yeah.
When I stumbled upon Ozone, I really had no what do you call it?
You weren't
expectations.
You're just
at all.
let's just check it.
Yes,
We've tried everything.
Just check it out. This seems fun. It's not going to hurt him. He can do this. And when the outcome was what it was, that's where my passion, literally just catapulted into, oh my, Lord, what? Yeah. There's got to be other things out there. That's as a mom, when I started looking really, I stopped, because for 10 years I was the stay-at-home mom that was on top of everything, the house, the kid, the food.
And you're and you were into nutrition and stuff too.
Yeah, yes, and I was going to school and learning about nutrition, but it wasn't until all this happened that I really got serious about what I knew I needed to do, and that is to find different alternatives for healing, because I knew there was out there, but it was a struggle for me to find them as well. So for this laser, the laser kind of fell in my lap. I'm thinking by the act of God, just like Ozone, but this laser just came out. They hadn't even launched the company yet when I found it. So I was able to actually test this laser for quite a few months before I bought it. And the stories I could tell you of healing are less than miraculous again. So the laser, you would ask me to maybe talk about some of the elements that I've seen in my clinic.
Let's do it.
So there's a couple really big ones, powerful ones. One was on a wound, an open wound that I can't really talk a whole lot about. But,
on the high level.
Yeah, on the high level, yes. After about 2.5 months so it was an open wound that was super infected.
On a person's body.
Yeah, it was on their leg, and it was not it took my breath away, and I thought at that point she should probably go to the hospital or a doctor. But anyways, something inside of me said, nope, just stop. Let's, she's 22 months she's been dealing with this thing, so no one's been.
So she's been to the hospital.
She's been to the hospital, doctors, yes. Oh my gosh, the best in the world, yes. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't getting any better, and so we bagged it with Ozone, and we lasered it for about 2.5 months, really. And by the end of the 3 months, she was able to successfully put a skin graft on her leg, which was amazing, right? So they're studying this.
Of years of doing all sorts of other
months,
stuff.
Yes, and I'm not sure how she still had her leg because it was that bad.
Yeah.
But that's a drastic one, right? That was real big for me, and I didn't even think in my clinic, I was, really should have been doing this for him, but I did
Yeah.
have my doctor team.
Yeah.
I had my MD involved, and so it wasn't like I just took this.
We're winging it.
Yeah. But anyways, so that's the big one. Every day we see sprained ankles. We did heal. We've healed 2 sprained ankles now in less than a week,
Nice.
which is super crazy. These were younger, 13-year-olds. And if you think about it, their body isn't poisoned like ours, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
Or
Didn't have all that years of
Yeah,
stuff.
all the years of stuff. So when this laser goes in and rushes the blood to their injury, they heal really fast because they have all that nutrients and fresh, blood in them still. Let's see, knees, before, after surgery, rotator cuffs, tennis elbow all day long,
Oh,
tendonitis.
yeah. I wish I would have known about that like 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, I had it for like 8 months. I'm like, I don't even play tennis.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And that's kind of how I found the laser, because I had a tennis elbow.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So, and I had done everything I could do, and you're right, about 8 months. So, anyways, with this laser, it's like 6 to 8 treatments.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I would have loved that. That was a pain
it's
in
like
the
2
ass.
weeks. Yeah, yeah. So 2 weeks versus 8 months. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Life changing, right?
For sure.
Yeah, so headaches, it's all about blood flow and oxygen, and well, sometimes, or it could be,
Yeah.
could be that. Just tension. We have people that book this laser for an hour long to just move blood through their body, and it just, they get off the table and they can move again like freely, and they just feel phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it. So I mean,
When you know what I see in that, something that you said that that comes to the heart of all this while you're here, and I think almost anybody who you see that started something big has come out of like some immense suffering that's happened,
Yes.
and found like that sucked
Yes.
so bad, and I don't want other people to feel the same way.
yes.
And so, which is like,
that is my, yes.
of
that's
the,
my
I can
MO.
see that in you, like the
Yes.
total like honesty of like, because you could have just like, 'cause, I mean, you owned one. You could have
Yes.
just like kept it in your house and whatever.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
but you're
I
like,
couldn't.
wow, this is like so helpful. And the
Yes.
passion that you bring behind that
Yes.
is really just a testament to everything that you have there about like living a better life.
Yeah, it is. I think as I struggled, myself, and we all still struggle, right? I'm still struggling.
Me
with
too.
Stuff. Yeah, we
I
all
go roller coaster style.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that's how life goes.
Yes.
You're never going to be like on the total
No.
upswinger. If you
No.
are, like, call me for your tips.
No,
Or
and
call in with
so
your tips.
Even just like this morning, I went to work and there was a new client that came in, and he was suffering from such bad anxieties that he had to go to the hospital and emergency room, and he was just telling me about this thing that happened to him, and it's so he went to the doctor, they gave him Xanax, all this stuff, and I sat with him, which is what I do when they come into my clinic.
Yeah.
We sit in there and I talk to them, while they're doing the sauna, explain everything. But I had to assure him that he wasn't alone, and that life is life and life is hard, and you have to learn how to breathe through it. And we were here for him. And when he left, he did the sauna. He got his B12 shot. Because there you go again. I mean, having anxiety and all this stuff could literally just be because you're deficient in something too, right? So
For
either
sure.
you're deficient in oxygen, you're deficient in some kind of
Hormones
vitamin,
out of
minerals.
whack, yeah.
Yeah, hormones, something, which maybe we'll talk about the vitamins next. But
Yeah.
well, so we gave him the sauna, B12 shot. Anyways, he texted me, or he was texting me on his way out because I wasn't able to say hi to him or bye to him, and he thanked me, and and he said that he felt better, and that it just gave him hope. And I think which I hear every single day is that the place that I've tried to build is a place for people to come that aren't alone, and we're all here for each other. And I
Yeah.
told him, and I kept telling him it's a village, like we all need each other.
For sure.
And so I think just giving him that hope really was amazing this morning for me as well. Like it helped me this morning too, to know that I helped somebody, and that he kind of helped me a little bit too with his story, because we all are going through it.
That's true. For sure.
So-
Everybody is.
And the things he was worried about was the same things I was worried about. And we're talking about children things now, right? Like as a father, his anxiety stemmed around his 3 children and what's going on with them and this and that. I'm like, oh my gosh, that, you're not alone. Like I do the same thing. I lay awake at night. I have a hard time sleeping too, because I'm thinking about what this world's doing to our,
Yeah.
to our
I mean,
children,
there's a
too.
lot of
So-
things that can keep you just
Yeah.
like in
Yeah.
fight or flight for real.
Yeah.
And you're so right. And it does. And that's like part of that. It does take a village, and to have a
does.
place that you can come to
It does, yes.
with more than that. So let's dive into more stuff at Ozone. We could talk about the different IVs and vitamins.
Yeah, we
and,
just as of very recently have a full-time nurse on staff for IVs. So we have all the normal IVs, right? We have the Myers cocktail that you can come in and actually build your own bag, B complex, magnesium, zinc, whatever, we have ozonated blood treatments, which is a powerful treatment.
and what does that do for people?
Yeah, so, well, it cleans your blood, basically, but it's a big booster as far as your immune system and detox. So we're literally pulling out 250 Cs of your own blood into a bag, yep, there it is, and we ozonate it, which means we push oxygen straight into your blood outside your body in this bag.
Yeah.
And then we mix it around and we just infuse it right back in. So the blood never leaves, like it's going to go
just
back
temporarily.
in. Temporarily comes back in. But when it goes back into you, it's clean. So as far as it could help with so many things, right? So now we're talking about clean oxygen straight into the blood, which is so good for the lungs, the heart disease, diabetes, leaky gut, cleans your gut, cleans the blood, just overall health and wellness, immune system, everything we talked about.
And
powerful
especially going
detox.
into the winter, like get a fresh immune system.
Gosh, and talk about like flus and, well, we can, I guess, go sit here all day, but bacteria, toxins, so many things we come in contact with every single day. And a lot of my clients fly, right? They fly, they're in and out.
Oh yeah, that's a germ breathing
Oh
tube.
my gosh, yeah. So, I mean, we have clients anywhere from dealing with cancer, because this treatment's very powerful at building white blood cells and red blood cell count back up, after they've been destroyed, to maintenance, to, they come once a month and just do this treatment because they know, that it's really killing viruses and bugs and parasites and fungus and yeast and mold. And, it's interesting because I was dealing with mold in my house. I feel like God, I have all these different experiences in my life to help me to understand my clients, right, that comes in my door, which is crazy, right? So here I am dealing with mold, 2 or 3 months ago, which is so serious, and I've never dealt with it before. So I never could relate.
And scary. You're like,
And super scary, yeah. And I got sick. So here I was, I had this clinic where I'm talking to people about mold, but I never really had that true understanding of it. And then boom, here I get it. And I'm seeing a neurologist, not a neurologist, a cardiologist, and like a lung doctor, a heart doctor, because I couldn't breathe. And I was having a hard time, and I was literally laying in my bed every single night, me and my son, between two, mold all in the 2 windows, back of my headboard, everything.
oh my gosh.
For months and months and months.
And didn't even know it.
Didn't even know it. And so, so I did the blood. So, so the blood really helped to clean that up, because mold, that's a whole nother conversation we could have all in itself. But if it gets into your blood, you're talking about brain, it can go straight to your brain, your spine, it's.
And you might not even know it, just like you didn't even know it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, I did the blood for the mold. I was pretty consistent. I did that about 2 times a week, and it really helped. It was for about 3 weeks. And
then you had to get rid of the mold with your location.
Yes, and then I sat in the sauna, and literally it would come out of my skin.
Yeah.
It was.
Because you can see the stuff that comes out of the sauna.
Once in a while. But that was the first time I had ever had itchy bumps, and what that is, it's herxine. That's stuff coming out of your body.
Wow.
So that was just one, it doesn't last. The itchy bumps go away, but it was just interesting that I went through that, and now I have a better understanding about mold and how important that is. So that's, the IVs are just there for people that are experiencing things. They're to hyper boost you.
Yeah, and I've done a couple of those.
Yeah.
And
you
really
have,
just,
that's
so
right.
I did just one for hydration. I was going on a trip, and I was like, and I know I don't drink as enough water as I should. So I was
everybody's dehydrated.
might as well just get and I felt so much better.
Yes.
Just really felt better.
Well, so people, we're gonna add the hangover IV. I didn't never added that to my list because I'm, that's really not what my clinic's about. But all a hangover IV is it's saline. It's a bag of saline and some B vitamins and minerals. You know, I mean, it's just basically replenishing your body with what you need. So so hydration it's every day, whether you're hungover or not. We're all walking around dehydrated
For sure,
unless we're, drinking those minerals, because water's not doing it.
Yeah. Okay, and then I experienced another thing that I tried, the wands, those electromagnetic lymphatic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish Sandra was here. You'll have to have her on sometime to talk about that. But yes, here we are. Okay, so we're detoxing our body, right? We're sitting in these saunas, and ozone's going into the body, and it's attaching all this stuff, and we're dumping it into our body, and now we have to get rid of it. So your lymphatic system is key to that. So we added LET to our, it's basically not a massage, it's a therapy. I mean, you lay on the bed and there's these wands that it literally physically moves your lymphatic system. So if you're clogged somewhere, then you're not feeling good. You're sluggish, you're bloated for sure. You're puffy, you might be sore, you might have like a lump here or there. Right,
it collects in your lymph nodes.
Yeah, it collects in your lymph nodes. So this treatment is phenomenal for moving, like physically moving from you have lymphs in your head all the way down to your toes.
Yeah.
So she goes through your whole entire body and pushes them all towards the exit, which is right here.
Yeah. It was really nice. I felt super good.
Yes. So you can walk in there bloated and feeling so crappy and leave there with a flat stomach. Like we're about ready. We're doing some pictures, so they'll be on our website soon. We have pictures of this. Like it's incredible.
Yeah.
And that's just sludge. So think about it as sludge. So your lymphatic system is the waste system of your body. So, if it's clogged up, then it's not good. It needs to be flowing smoothly, and we need to be detoxing every, cleanly and easily. And so if it gets clogged, then you're backing up. You're backing up just like a toilet.
And then you're more susceptible to everything
Yes.
else. And so really, it just it
Yes.
behooves you to when you're well,
Yes.
to come in and just keep everything
for
pretty
sure.
tight,
Yes, and Sandra, so, she assesses you at first, hour long, and she'll tell you, either, you're, clogged here or here, and then, you're supposed to come back, once a week or something until you get those unclogged, and then, just maintenance once a month or something.
Yeah, and she was good. She told me I was at it too, so mine was actually really good. So she said, maybe just come back in a month.
Oh, good.
And that's the other thing that I like is you're super honest to people.
Yeah.
It is not a money-making, you need.
No.
It is, and honestly, you could need that, you could do that, you could, or don't do this for you.
Yeah.
Which is super important
it
too,
is
to
super important.
entrusting people.
It is.
Yeah.
And, let's go back, 12 years ago when my husband, got really sick. It cost us a fortune. I mean, almost broke us.
Yeah.
And, and so
You can't, people do go broke.
people all day long go broke.
I
when they
forget
get
what he
sick.
said. I talked to the guy who's the dean of public health, and said how many people have these medical bankruptcies for health in this country. He's like, it's criminal, really.
It is. And so that was so when I was doing this ozone and it miraculously, did this to my son, I was paying a small fortune.
Yeah.
And so I think from the get-go, I was bound and determined to make treatments that work affordable to people, because people are suffering and they can't afford it. And I know because I used to be there.
Yeah.
So
and it's totally affordable.
And I try to make it as, I think it's pretty affordable.
I think it is. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, for health, for sure.
Yeah, I think I've set the price in Dallas for sure, but I
then
get
if
phone
you-
calls all the time.
Yeah,
saying
and
I'm
if
too
you
cheap.
think too, and this is what I think of the cost of health. Okay, so I'm paying money for insurance, which is just maybe is a whole bunch.
Yes.
And then something happens, I have an $11,000 deductible. So every time you go, but if I could just maintain, just like you think about, eating better food and stuff, it really is a minimal investment.
Yes.
To not end up with the $10,000 medical bill.
Absolutely, yes. And, preventative all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, we should all be exercising. We should all be taking care of our insides, meaning clean eating. I mean, I can't emphasize the importance of clean eating and not eating chemicals.
Yeah.
So I think we talked about it, maybe I mentioned in 1980, they dumped 100,000 chemical ingredients into our food chain. And so if you really read your ingredients, it's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's a laundry list.
And so we do functional medicine testing too, and it's scary because they just came out with a functional medicine test to test for ingredients
Oh, wow.
that are firing up in the body.
That's good though, so you can figure out what's going on. Yeah.
But I mean, that's how we become. You know, why did they put all these chemical ingredients into our food chain in the first place? Like, it was all
and it's
money.
just like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on it, like that Robin O'Brien has been starting with, like, what's in is it our food or what's been done to it?
Yes.
And it's not just people are like, well, they're just diagnosing more now. No, that's not true.
No.
Like, there's just way more instances of
way more
anaphylactic food allergies, autism, all this stuff.
irritable bowel syndrome, all
Toxic
day long.
overload.
Yes, oh my gosh, all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, acid reflux in like 12-year-old boys. You're like, what? You know, I mean, it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah.
You got the place.
Yeah. Clean the insides out. I don't know. I mean, everything. I don't know.
And so what else? So let's talk about, I know you have different like supplements and all, I mean, a whole bunch of different things like.
We do. We have
or what are your top couple faves?
Yeah.
Things you have?
So I do have a couple faves. I love organics. Learned about them on the Truth About Cancer docuseries. We have systems with them that clean every organ out in the body, which is so critical, right? We clean our cars, let's clean our organs out
Right.
3 times a year. So this system they have come up with works, and it's super easy and effective, and it doesn't cost much to clean every organ in your body out 3 times a year. They're just clean, fermented, organic, ingredients. So love them. And we have a hydration tea. You talk about dehydration. We're all dehydrated, called Red Joe, and literally it's the rooibos. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of rooibos, but it's a superfood out of South Africa. And it literally is like a medicine in their region for hydration. So more electrolytes, that you can put in your body, and it's all natural. It's from a root. It's a superfood.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have some oxygen stuff, and we can clean your intestines, your stomach, and lots of detox stuff. And then we are just about ready to launch our liquid vitamins, which I'm super excited about.
Oh yeah.
So that's a whole another thing too, right, about vitamins and how there's so many vitamins out there. You go to Whole Foods or wherever, and there's aisles and aisles of vitamins, and they're not.
You don't know what's what.
No.
Yeah.
And they're not. What do you call it? Supervised by the FDA. They're not.
Oh yeah. They're not.
I can't.
Nothing goes through the FDA.
Yeah, I can't think of the word, but.
I know what
So
you're talking
there
about.
could be fillers in there. There could be fillers.
Yeah.
There could be, they're not real.
Regulated.
They're not regulated. Thank you.
I was like, it's coming.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
coming.
So that scares me, because I'm like, we could be taking pills and we spend so much money, and unless you're getting them from a trusted source.
And lab testing it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I found, I'm going to launch it. We'll talk all about that another time, but I'm so excited about it. So, and I've also learned that, liquid, your body's going to absorb much faster. And I had a friend tell me something, and here I am. I'm not super educated yet, but I'm learning. But we as humans turn a certain way, like our energy. Like, I'm not sure. Can you help me out with this? Because I know that you know a lot.
A little bit, but keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
And so
I like what you're saying.
Yeah, sometimes there's certain vitamins that are actually spinning us the other way.
Oh,
and so it's interesting. Like when I'm getting chills because that's something new for me, right? We're always learning and always evolving, right? So
I'm always
now
down
here
for
I
learning
am.
new stuff. Yeah.
So I'm learning this, and it's opening my eyes to, wow, we think that we're getting our baseline of vitamins, but we're really not.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. We just always have to keep educating ourselves, because new things come out, and So anyways, I have this new line that I'm bringing in that is incredible.
And that's what I like, is like you're doing the research, and you really are like, you're vetting people
care.
super hardcore
Yeah.
because you care, which is so
I do,
nice.
yes.
Because just as like, for everybody else who's coming in, you don't have time to I don't have time to figure out like all these things, and it's nice that you figured it out.
Yeah.
Find the people.
But I learn a lot from my clients too, so I'm super grateful that I have my clientele to help me. They push me in the right direction, and they give me direction, and
and tell you what works.
And they tell me what works, and they tell me maybe you might not be right there. And I stop and I listen, because none of us know everything. We're all constantly learning.
Always.
The village thing, right? It takes the village.
For sure, that. And then and also what's so cool too is you just said I'm listening to my customers, and I'm not always right. And it just takes in this world for somebody to just be like, I don't know everything and I'm learning.
Definitely.
And if I did this, because I've done like a 180 on a lot of things actually. Like I thought something with like the entirety of my being, and then later I'm like, oops, that's not it, or that's not true, or I just learned something new that made it not, not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
And that's how you grow.
Yeah, for sure.
So how has this journey, do you think, of wellness like shaped you to who you are now?
Oh gosh. I mean, I'm so different. I'm not different as a human being, as like in my soul, but I'm different in the way I see things. A little different, a little clearer. That's a really tough question.
Yeah.
I don't really know how it's changed me, other than I've always been a giving person. I've always been a caring person. I've kind of been a crowd follower and just kind of stepped back a little bit. And I feel like with everything that's happened to me is I've kind of stepped out of my box and just said, you know what, I'm tired of following. I'm gonna maybe step ahead and, I don't know, guide people.
Right on, girl.
So,
I like
yeah.
it. I like it. And you have done
I
that.
have done that, yeah, and it took a lot of strength and a lot of courage.
For
and,
sure.
and
To
a
like
lot of
start a
learning.
business from like that is different
Yeah.
than anything else.
I had to
It's
step out of fear. That's-
outside of the box, and people are going to say, because I mean there is a huge faction of people that do not like anything alternative.
No,
that
there
can't
is.
see that fine line between like, I mean, because there's bad stuff on all sides.
There
I mean, there's scams in the alternative world for sure.
Yeah.
So that's using the critical brain and not just like blindly following anything on any side.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think you've completely amplified that to like take that chance to go through and then do what you're doing and stand strong.
I think it's, I think it's what I did is I stepped out of my fear. I mean, that's the bottom line, I guess, to put it in a big, huge nutshell. I was fearful before, and now I'm not.
I'd love that.
So, yeah,
I'd love
it's
that.
a good feeling.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it so nice? Like I
Yeah.
lived in lots of fear, and I go in and out of like, the fear cycles, but to be like, wait a minute.
Well, so
that's
I
in
think,
my head.
What did you open up with when you were talking?
Oh, a passenger or a driver in the seat of your life.
And I really loved that. Like I was, resonating with that a lot, because I think I was a passenger in my life for 46 years.
Me too.
And so
We probably waved at each other out the window, not looking straight.
yeah, so it's kind of nice that we finally found the driver's seat. And sometimes it might take, some things in our lives that go wrong to, steer us in the right direction. So
Yeah. Well, it is just about time to wrap up. We talked about all this super good stuff.
I always love talking to you.
I do too. That's why I come into, because it's such a wonderful place. And if you're in Dallas, you come to Ozone Clinics, which is OHZoneClinics.com. I'll put everything in the show notes, because you can be a driver in your life. We were just talking, and I've just, when you're just like go on and go with the flow, and I like making decisions that I look back on, I'm like, oh my God, like who's doing that? But here we are. Every moment you have a chance to be the driver. And so you can take this moment now and know that there's always another way.